leading up to the pec tear, I think I was really just testing my strength for. It was just constant testing, maybe throughout the year, trying to push the weight, trying to get to certain weight, certain weight limit, from 315 to 325 to 375. I mean, I was just really pushing the intensity on the pec. And I was going back and forth weekly, doing that, maybe changing around every other week, maybe giving it a break. I did feel, towards when it was going to happen, I did feel a little bit of a strain on, I want to say it was my shoulder, more on my shoulder. It felt like if it was a shoulder thing that was causing some sort of issue. But I gave it a break when that happened, and I felt that. I gave it a little break. I went to dumbbells, and when I was testing my strength, it was all barbell bench press. That's where I was testing my strength, not on the dumbbells, but mainly on the barbell, which it was causing probably more stress on my pecs. But so when I felt the little shoulder that it was giving me a little bit of a problems, I let it relax for a little while. Maybe I took about maybe a month break, and then I said, okay, it's been a little while, feels a little bit better. Let's start to push it again. So you're just pushing it and pushing it. And I got to the 375, and it wasn't like I hadn't done it before. But this day that it happened, I was pushing, and I did one rep, and the second rep that I was coming up, it just ripped. I mean, it sounded like it was loud, a loud rip. Look at that, I had a spotter, a friend of mine was able to rack the weight, but it hurt. It hurt a lot. I thought maybe it would go away a little bit. It would ease up. Okay, maybe I just kind of sprained it or something, or But I waited for a little bit, and the pain was just not. It was not going away. It was getting like more intense. So I'm like, okay, this is not getting any better. I think I'm gonna have to call it good. And I had to leave. I had to leave the gym, and I had to. I went to the to the emergency to make sure anything was. I guess just to be on the for sure side. And I mean, they told me it wasn't ripped. They said it might have been a slight tear, but by the time I got to the hospital, the blood was covered from the rip. My whole arm was covered with the blood, and it came all the way down to my side, all the way down to my stomach.
So this is bruising, right?
The internal bruising. So all this was all the way down to here, all the way down to my arm. So the doctor couldn't really tell if it was ripped completely off. So she said, why don't you give it a little time, let it clear a little, and see if it could be a slight tear, and it could get better, with a little time. But I said, okay. So they gave me some painkillers, which helped. I mean, that was good, and I just had to.
So to clarify, you went to the doctor. You were bruised to all hell.
All hell, yeah.
Obviously, you tore your pec.
Obviously, yeah.
And they said, we're going to give you some painkillers.
Yeah, it's like it could be a slight tear. Like, I mean, that was like, so I was like, okay, well, I'll let it. I'm like, okay. So I took the pain medication, and I let maybe about a week go by, and the movement of the whole pec was way off. Like, it felt totally different. Like you could tell that something was not right. And so I went back and I said, I need a second opinion on this. This is ripped. It's not a tear. This is, the movement, the feeling is not good at all. So a week later, I go and see another guy, and he's like, okay, yeah, it's ripped, the guy says, right? I'm like, well, duh, okay. So I tell the doctor, I compete, and I don't want just any surgeon to reattach this. I want someone that kind of specializes in that. I guess my whole thing was, I was already kind of mind screwed about it and thinking, okay, now what's going to happen, So I did go to a different doctor in a different area to do the surgery, and we did it like a week later. The surgery, they had to open it up, reattach it,